Hello and welcome. It's been a while. We've not been streaming for a while just due to a general illness. Uh, but I didn't want to skip doing my top 10 games of the year for before the end of the year, obviously. So here I am. Got the Cherry Coke goodness sponsoring the podcast today, the stream rather. All right, so the two disclaimers to make at the start. Well, basically, 2018 was an amazing year for games. There's probably hundreds of games that would be game of the year in previous years. It's just no one's got the time to play them all. So the two disclaimers basically are these games are all games I've actually finished, so that'll explain why there's a couple that aren't on there that you might be surprised, and I'll talk about at the end. Haha. And the other disclaimer is they have to have actually come out in 2018, so that's kind of helped me narrow stuff down. It's taken out things such as like Night of the Woods on Switch was incredible, and that would have made it, but oh wow, it's getting loud outside. But because the game officially came out last year, it's not going to be on the list. So that's the two criteria. Right, so here we go. Let's get down to it. So coming in at number 10, if this works. Hey, it's Kirby Star Alice. Um, which, yeah, so there's a few Switch games played that were fantastic this year. This one was just an absolute joy. It's not, doesn't sort of provide fun in the same way as a lot of games where you're kind of banging your head against the wall and trying to challenge it. But just the sheer amount of stuff in this game was amazing. You know, you had so many different characters and combos you could do, and it was, not be able to fall down cliffs by just jumping. In some games, you'd be like, "What is this rubbish?" But in this, it was really fun. You just, yeah, Kirby Uber Alice, exactly. Um, yeah, but it's just a joy from beginning to end. Basically, that's what this game was all about. Getting the extra characters they gave you in the download were essential. I definitely recommend if you played this like before any patches, you will have a much better time if you play it after because those characters you get are just better than any of the ones in the main game. Shout out to the fish that can just flop on the floor and the artist. They were both fantastic. And there's a lot of content in here as well because all the patches added a lot of stuff. So you get not half the game again, but you probably get about another third of the game if you once you've patched it fully. So yeah, if you got multiplayer, if you got four people together, you can argue over which character you should get and just fight for half the stage, but you'll have a great time. So there we go. So Kirby, number 10. All right, let's go on to number 9. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So I couldn't really find a very good bit of art for this one, but this just shows her in a tomb. But yeah, this is a good surprise because a lot of reviews are sort of downrating this kind of game this year. I think that people had had enough of the trilogy of the new Tomb Raider, but we loved it. The art in this game is truly beautiful. Like obviously graphics technically have got a lot better in any game like God of War, things like that. But the vistas in this game were just we kept stopping and going, what the hell? This is incredible. And the idea to make Lara a bit of a baddie in this one, it was really sort of heavy-handed the way it was done, but it was at least interesting. It wasn't like, well done, you're the hero, you rescued everyone again. Um, so combat was cool. The talent tree actually was not so good. So I mean, this is not higher in my top 10 because a lot of it is based off the previous games, and they kind of made the skill tree worse than it was before. Even though in the previews it sounded like it was gonna be great. Like we'd get a level up, go through the talent tree, and be like, well, out of these 20 skills you could get, one or two are actually going to be interesting or worthwhile. So it's a bit of a weird thing to do. And of note, the best thing in the game is they've done like a predator mode bit where you get mudded up and you hide in walls, and loads of people are coming at you with torches at night, and you're just taking them all out from the trees. That was done as well as it possibly could be. You could see the intent they wanted to have that kind of predator experience, and it just went flawlessly. That stage is incredible. Probably the most explosions in any game of the year as well. When you get to the oil refinery, which is good. So yeah, so that's also one thing I would have loved though. The guy that comes with you, I can't remember his name. He's like the cool Maori type guy. He is so odd in that game where he seems to just appear anywhere and always like backs you up in a kind of odd, unreal way. We loved at the end for it to turn out he was like a ghost or something. That would have been incredible, but it just wasn't. He was able to just teleport to any location and never be in danger somehow. All right, so that is number 9, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Let's go. Number 8, Celeste. This is like number 8 and also one of my biggest disappointments of the year, which is you won't find many people talking about that. The main reason is because the guy did before this was Towerfall, which is like game of the generation to us and probably will stand the test of time as one of the greatest games ever made. So anything he made after that was just going to be a disappointment. It's a real shame. Like that's why this didn't get near the top. Yeah, they could have done that, and it would have fit as well. It was. If you play the game, you'd just be like, "This is not a real character. Like, this is just an odd. It's like her mind is talking to her or something. Very odd situation, which would have been quite cool if it resolved properly, but it didn't. Yeah, so Celeste, what more can I say? Flawless jumping mechanics. This is like the new Super Meat Boy, basically. It's just the only thing is, I love Super Meat Boy, and I think I've perfected the whole game. But Celeste, the difficulty got to such an unbelievably frustrating point that I was being driven crazy. Maybe I'm just getting old, but it felt like it actually went too far, which I kind of like I want to be the bossy level of difficulty. Um, so that kind of put me off a bit. But I was just, resigned to being disappointed by this game from second one after it wasn't Towerfall 2, basically. So I can't blame them for that. It's still a great game. For most people, anyone who hasn't played Towerfall, which is most of you, probably find this to be one of your top games of the year. Yeah, really, really good platforming challenge. So, and playing on Switch as well, which is a great platform for it. It's disappointing not to have trophies because it feels like the sort of game that would benefit from that. But otherwise, being able to just play bits of it and being on a small screen was fine. So, all right, so that's your Celeste. Number 7. The Missing, JJ Backfield and the Island of Memories probably wins the award for longest title of a game of the year. So this is kind of the opposite, where the creator Swery, the games he's done have all been great, and they kind of are just consistently great in different ways. So we really knew we were on something when we heard he was doing another game this year, and boy were we! Yeah, this is an excellent game. It's one of those games where the less you say about it, the better. It's one of those where the story goes places and it's very serious and incredible, which most games just won't touch. Like indies will probably do it, but this is kind of feels a bit above an indie level game, like a double A or whatever you want to call it. And they really push the story hard, and it's excellent, played really, really well. The actual gameplay is not so great, to be honest. It's okay. You've got some platforming, but there's some frustrating checkpoints. There's puzzles that nothing is really explained in the game, which for the most part works well. But there's some puzzles where you're just like, what am I supposed to be doing here? It's a lot of trial and error. Having said that, we got through it without use of a guide, so it's not busted or anything. But and some of the ideas in the game do get you reused over and over from a gameplay point of view. So you will find yourself getting tired of the odd monkey smashing you into the ceiling and things like that. But yeah, still absolutely worth playing. This is a very, very much worth playing game, and 7 even feels low for it in this list, but I have gone over it a few times, so we'll see. So that is The Missing, JJ Backfield and the Island of Memories. Right, let's go to number 6. Yeah, it really was. By far, the most hard-hitting story out of anything this year. Um, although Night in the Woods had a really good story in a similar way. It's not quite as heavy as that one, but really longer game with like more nuanced story. It's just it came out last year, so it didn't make it onto this list. Okay, let's roll. Number 6, A Way Out. This is a game which I feel like has probably mostly been forgotten by everybody because it came out quite early in the year. EA published it, and everyone wants to hate it obviously because most of their stuff is terrible. But my God, having a brother and playing through it in co-op. That's like the sort of best possible test case for playing this game, and it was incredible. Best direction of the year in a year where like God of War came out. That is an insane statement, but there is a level in a hospital in this game which it has to be seen to be believed. The way they use the camera work and gameplay mechanics together to just do an insane flow of you having to do something that looks like you're in a cutscene, then the other character has to do it, and it's never like, oh well, now put in player one's controller. Or, there's no gamey part of it. They just flawlessly execute a co-op experience in a level which the likes of which we've never seen, to be honest. So if you're co-oping games a lot, like couch co-op, I wouldn't say doing this. You can do it online, I think, but I wouldn't recommend it. Um, if you want a co-op game this year, this is the one. It's just absolutely, not when I say flawless. As far as co-op games get, it's as close as it gets, but it's not flawless. Really, really good. The ending was it was a lot of jank in the ending. I think because we played it straight away, it was not patched. There's some sort of suspicious deaths in the last level, which hit the pace a lot. But yeah, love the way out. Can't wait to see what this guy does next, because is this the Brothers guy? I can't remember. Is it Joseph Fares or whatever? Yeah, looking forward to his next game. All right, let's go on to number 050. Obra Dinn. So actually, it's called The Return of the Obra Dinn, but I couldn't find a bit of art that had that on it. So if you're looking at it on Steam or whatever, that's what it's called. This is a game unlike anything else on this list. It's a puzzle game, ostensibly. I guess you're walking around the ship in this really cool old graphic style, which you're seeing here. Yo, hey Tesla! Oh, happy Christmas Eve to you too. Good to see you, man. Excellent. It's just good to be on stream for once. Yeah, so yeah, this game is just incredible. The attention to detail which is required, because the idea of the game is you have to try and figure out how each character died in the game, and you have to report it. So if you find out someone, I don't know, you see a body, you have to work out who his name is from the like roster and from pictures, and is he this nationality or has he got a beard, or and how did they die? Like if you find a knife wound, it maybe that, or maybe they died later on from bleeding out or something, or they fell off the ship. So you have to. Each scene in the game is like a still in 3D. You can walk around it, but the time is not moving, and you have to analyze everything. And there's a lot of deduction based on things that aren't there, and you suddenly find a scene where it says, oh, this character's like number 32 on the roster, and oh my god, that means this, that means this, and lots of interesting, surprising things happen on that ship, which I won't spoil, but there's stuff that you definitely aren't going to be expecting going in, and then not only are you, it's just really rewarding every time you hit. The sound effects in this game are great when you like work out how someone's died and it clicks into place and the game sort of announces it with its own sounds. It's really satisfying. And on top of that, the level of what happened on the ship, why is everybody dying, and what were they setting out for, also is an amazing discovery as well. So fantastic game. Cannot recommend more highly than that. So okay, so let's go on to a number 04. SpiderMan. So I think this game is one of those like Oscar games where it's put out to win awards. Basically, they put absolutely every effort into polishing this game to the nines, making the best traversal system probably ever. Oh yeah, the music was very atmospheric. Good point. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, there was a lot of good. Each chapter had its own music, which kind of vibed with what was going on. That it must have taken a long time trying to match up the tones to what was happening in each chapter. That was nice. Yeah, Spider-Man, best traversal of any game of all time. They must have spent so many man hours getting that nuanced down to within an inch of its life. The graphics just mind blowing. I've probably used the photo mode in this game. In fact, I have used it more than any other game. Of trying to compose your own shots because the lighting is so incredible. The story is wonderful. Like, well, the main quest in this game, excuse me, are really well done. Although they do have the stealth missions that people do get annoyed with, there's some payoff to that. There's a couple of really good stealth missions that actually work out well. Main characters are really well acted, like the main villain, who is not in the trailer, so I'm not going to reveal it, although it's probably obvious now. It's incredible and probably one of the performances of the year. It's just good in every aspect. Like they said the things that went into this game though, just crazy. Where he's got speech when he's swinging along, and apparently they recorded them each line different ways to show like if he's swinging fast and the wind speed would affect it, or some utter madness like that. It's like, what are you doing? This is absolute overkill for a game. So there's no doubt it was going to score highly. And just the combat's phenomenal. It's like even better than Batman combat in my opinion, because you had about literally upwards of 10 options at any point of different gadgets and attacks and jumps you could throw out. So yeah, incredible game, and I'm not surprised to see this on the top of a lot of people's game of the year lists. The only downer, which brought it down a little bit, is at the end of the game, to get the platinum, you had to do like all the crimes in the city, and you didn't have to do them, but because you were so close to the platinum, I think most people did feel, oh, you should do this. And doing like 30 crimes in a row at the end of the game when you're so OP, it's just like busy work, really. Yeah, I think I would rate the game higher if I'd have just shut it off and thought, I'm good now, I've done the story. But stupid human brain makes you do it. But yeah, so play this game, everybody. Let's go on to number 3. Detroit Become Human. This is not a very good picture for this game, but I couldn't find a good one to put in it. Absolutely, incredible. This is the best game, in my opinion, that shows actual choice having effects in the game that I've ever seen. Because we could confirm that because I was playing it, and my brother was playing it, and my cousin was playing it, and we're all doing different things, and we ended up with such a bad ending. It's like ridiculously bad ending. Yeah, I'll have to give it to you. Yeah, I'll give it to you. I can bring it around today if you like. We got an ending so bad, you would never see that in any other game. Like it's like the most dystopian, horrible ending that we caused. So it's just good to see that in the game. If you actually fail in this game, you will fail. Like people you cared about in the game die, and civilization goes to pot. So you're actually fighting for something in the game. Okay, it's a video game, it's not real, but you have consequences for real, which is actually if you go and look at other games. Spider-Man, you die in a mission, you just respawn, you do it. You're always going to do it. But in Detroit, it really feels good. And the acting between Connor and his cop buddy is just the absolute best, like buddy cop routine. I absolutely love it. You didn't want to lose those characters for sure because it was just comedy all the way. And just so many choice trees. At the end of each stage, it shows you what the tree was of what you could have done. But things carried through that were incredible. Like you might pick up a gun in like quite an early stage, and much later that would become relevant where you wouldn't even remember you had it, and you could choose then if you wanted to put the gun down or store it or just throw it away or then use it. Yeah, it really was incredible. I mean, I've loved all of these games. Like I love Fahrenheit 9/11. I think it's great, even though not is it not 9/11, just called Fahrenheit, isn't it? Indigo Prophecy, basically. I love that game, even though the story went to just nonsense places, but the actual game was really fun. And Heavy Rain, I really enjoyed. Apart from pressing X to Jason, I still think it was really good. Beyond, I actually didn't really enjoy. I don't know why. It didn't really click with me. The jumping about back and forward in time was a bit of a nuisance, really, more than anything else. Um, but yeah, this one absolutely hit it. Yeah, Fahrenheit and Heavy Rain. They're great games. They're probably so cheap now. You should go out and play them. They're just a good time. But yeah, Detroit Man really hit us hard. Yeah, we felt bad when we actually messed up and lost some characters in this game, which is what they're going for basically. So yeah, and also I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy who plays Bishop in Aliens is in it, so that's massive plus points. And the last thing I'll say about Detroit is John, which is the best line in the game. So yeah, play Detroit. Let's roll. Jason. Right, number 2, La Milana 2. Right, so this game, when I played La Milana 1, which is one of my favourite games of all time, and kickstarted La Milana 2, I was basically, in my mind, assured it would be number 1 in whatever year it came out, because it's just, I'm absolutely in love with this game, the style of game. I just, the real difficult puzzles and unforgiving, almost trial and error gameplay where you have to have paid attention to every kind of little nonsense thing in the background and relative things from different zones in the game. It's like you have to think in this Metroidvania game like far more than you ever would have in any other. Um, a lot of the things to an outsider just seem like nonsense. Like how could you possibly have known that? But if you once you play through La Milana 1, you get your mindset in, and La Milana 2 really puts it down. Like they know you should be thinking in these ways, and they can throw puzzles at you that just would be beyond like anyone who's just coming into it, which I absolutely loved. Yeah, this is supposed to be my number 1. It's just a game come out this year, which is game of the generation, and it's just you know hit me like no other game has in a long time. So yeah, not everyone's gonna like Lemon 2. This probably isn't gonna feature in a lot of top tens, but my god, they for a Kickstarter where they promise a lot of things, they absolutely hit all of them. Bosses were phenomenal. It just sheer size of the game, music was incredible. Yeah, just play Lemon 2. If you're a Metroidvania fan and you don't mind getting beaten down by a game until you learn what you have to do, this is absolutely is the one. A killer game. Okay, where's my drum rolls? Let's get on to number 1. It should be obvious because it hasn't been in the 10 so far. It's the God of War. Yeah, I mean, what more can we say? This is like, a 10 out of 10 without a shadow of a doubt. It's just the way that, if God of War come out and it was a new franchise and it was this game, everyone would be like, wow, this game is incredible. But how they built on such a like almost antithetical version of this game, where the old one was there's no story, he's just an angry idiot, no one cares, it's just Kratos, he's like a for these like power fantasy people to put themselves in and beat all these gods, it's just stupid. But it's still a fun game, and I enjoyed the God of War games when they came out. I played all 3, not Ascension because no one plays that. But yeah, doing the callbacks to this in a like meaningful story way to his time in Greece, they hold on to that for like 15-20 hours. He doesn't even mention it, and they're just this really good character driven, incredible action, best graphics in the industry, the sound cues are incredible, the acting is insane. Yeah, it's just so good. um, I really got hit emotionally when he starts tying back into things that he's done in the past and how his like son is now seeing them and he's lying to him. It's just they really put everything into that story between him and his son, and the ending is absolutely incredible and beautiful. Yeah, I just want DLC for this game or a sequel more than anything else. It does everything. It's one of those like Resident Evil 4 type games where you think this has got to be the end. We're not having another 20 hours of this game because it's so good, and then it just goes on and on and on and on, and it never gets boring. Like they're always adding in new interesting things. So yeah, God of War is the top game, and it's I think for a few years to come, I'd be very shocked if a game can outdo this on every level for quite a while. They must have been they worked on this for like 6 years, didn't they? And it absolutely shows. Killer game. Again, which I had faith in, thinking please be good, but they could mess it up because obviously God of War wasn't known for its story and things, but they absolutely knocked it out of the park. So good on you, Sony Santa Monica, you did good. So yeah, so it was a great year for games. Like you say, they whatever console you're on, whatever genre you're in, there'll definitely be something for you. Um, and just even like oddities like Obra Dinners, that's not even really a genre, but new interesting gaming is coming out at an insanely high clip. There's just 2 games I wanted to call out at the end because I didn't put any games that I hadn't finished in my top 10. But if I had, like, if games that I'm part way through, Astrobot Rescue Mission is insanely good. I've only had a bit of, having good enough health to go into VR isn't really a thing for me at the moment. But I've had about a couple of hours in it, and it is incredible. Even from that, I love it. So Astrobot is a big one, and the other one is Iconoclasts, which is a game I'm just playing at the moment. You get it free with PS Plus. I think it came out this year. It's like a Metroidvania with just a really nice, like jolly, bright art style, and just everything is very, people know how to make Metroidvanias now. It doesn't stand out as doing, yeah, yeah, they do, don't they? The fact that SpiderMan, God of War, and Detroit all show up in my top four or top five is insane. Like that's their three big games this year, and all of them are better than just about everything else that came out. That says a lot. That they obviously want their studios to do well and give them enough time and money to actually, get them to that next level of game that's just beating everything else. That's the other games are still great, but to get into all these top tens and getting accolades takes so much nowadays. Sony are doing it. No, it didn't Persona 5 come out last year though. Hopefully. It did, right? Didn't it? I think that's the case. I hope so. I didn't even consider Persona 5. I think that was last year. If it would have, if it was, am I wrong about that? I might have to reshuffle this and re-record. um, okay, good. Phew, that's all right. Yeah, Persona 5 is great. It's not as good as I'd hoped because I love 3 and 4 more than it, but it's still a great game and I put a great many hours into it and enjoyed it. But yeah. So let's look to next year. What we expecting? Resident Evil 2 is going to be amazing. I'll just go back to the beginning. I think. Yeah, Resident Evil 2 remake is going to be amazing. Kingdom Hearts 3 will be huge. Devil May Cry 5 will be huge. Ghost of Tsushima I would think will come out next year. That could be huge. So yeah, there could be some good ones. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. You know what you like. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, cool. SMT5. Do you think that'll be a 2019? Maybe in Japan in December in 2019, but I don't know, man. I think that's going to be a 2020 for the West. I really hope it does, though. I've still got to play SMT4 and 4 Apocalypse. All right, so there we go. I managed to get through that. There we go. My head is still working, so that's great. Yeah, we do. We've got some very good games coming. We still got all those excellent oldies to play. Um, yeah, I've got some good old games to be streaming next year. That's for sure. All right. Well, anyway. Oh, Judge's Eyes, of course. Yeah, that'll be quite soon, won't it? Damn. We've got to get moving on that Yakuza train. All right. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. It was really good to be able to get back to doing a stream, and we'll catch you next time. Oh well, I better say a Merry Christmas to you all, and we'll catch you next time on Channel Icon. Bye.